Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian, pada pagi ini sekali lagi kita bersiaran dalam program Sembang-Sembang PSWM, menyusuri ilmu. Kali ini tetamu saya ialah Profesor Catherine Ho. Biarlah saya kenalkan Prof. Catherine. Dia adalah Profesor of Finance di Fakulti Business and Management UiTM, Shah Alam. Dia pernah menjadi Deputy Dean dekat Arshad Ayub Graduate Business School pada tahun 2017 hingga 2018. Dan dia juga merupakan a Fulbright Visiting Scholar at Thunderbird School of Global Management USA pada tahun 2014-2015. Dia menerima ijazah PhD-nya daripada Monash University, Melbourne, Australia, MBA daripada University of Memphis, Tennessee, USA, dan Bachelor of Commerce Honours from Carleton University, Ottawa, Canada. Prof. Catherine mempunyai 30 tahun pengalaman dalam bidang akademia dan telah mengajar kursus-kursus seperti pengurusan kewangan antarabangsa, ada pula satu financial engineering, research methodologies and others. Dia juga aktif sebagai seorang penyelidik dan telah present berbagai-bagai paper on research di peringkat kebangsaan dan juga antarabangsa, dan beliau juga telah banyak menerima award di peringkat antarabangsa dan juga di peringkat kebangsaan. Di antaranya ialah, saya akan bacakan di sini, the Outstanding National Research Award on Islamic Banking, at the Malaysian Research Star Award 2017 oleh Kementerian Higher Education. Kemudian ada satu lagi, pada tahun 2016, Emerald Literati Network Awards for Excellence, dan pada tahun 2014 Outstanding Reviewer Award from the Emerald Group Publishing Limited. Dia telah pun publish banyak kertas-kertas kerja di peringkat antarabangsa dan juga kebangsaan dalam bidang finance and economic journals, including Applied Economics,
Pacific. You can read them all.
Have to read and all. Nation Finance di antaranya. Okey, dia juga telah menulis dan co-author beberapa buku mengenai financial perspective seperti Emerging Markets and Financial Resilience dan sebagainya. Ketika ini dia menjadi President of the Malaysian Finance Association, an executive committee member of the Fulbright Alumni Association of Malaysia, member of the Asian Finance Association. Dia juga merupakan timbalan yang dipertua akademik Satuan Siswazah Wanita Malaysia. Okey. Dan dia juga telah menjawat jawatan Head of Center for Finance, Insurance, Economics and Islamic Banking Studies selama 5 tahun. Profesor Catherine juga supervise postgraduate master and doctorate candidates, dan dia telah juga dilantik sebagai an external PhD supervisor at Victoria University, Australia. Panjang, memang panjang, dan berbagai-bagai international journal lah, dan dia menulis dan sebagainya. Now, selain daripada itu, dia juga adalah currently the external examiner and panel expert for Universiti Tengku Abdul Rahman, University of Malaya, Meritus University, Universiti Malaysia Sabah, Open University Malaysia, Sunway University. Banyak. Dan dia aktif sangat juga consulting and training programs untuk sektor awam dan juga sektor swasta. Okey. Itu begitu hebat dia punya biodata, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Soalan saya yang pertama, kita boleh campur-campur lah, bahasa Melayu ke, bahasa Malaysia ke, bahasa Inggeris ke pun boleh. Okey? Feel free. Ni santai, okay? Okay, my first question. You are considered as an expert on various aspects of finance. In your opinion, is this knowledge important? And if it is so, why?
Oh, I mean, for a finance person like me, I'm sure I would always say that everybody should have some knowledge and skills in finance. So financial skills and knowledge is very important, not only in work, but in their personal life. Yes. You know, everybody needs to manage their own money, make sure that they're not having more expenses than income. So actually understanding finance and having some financial literacy and capability is actually very, very important for everybody. So now, in a nutshell, what is finance? Finance is the art and science of managing money. So if you want to pursue finance, a knowledge area, you have to have some love and passion for numbers. So some people, they say that, oh, when I look at numbers, I got headache. Then I'm sure, you will find that very, very difficult, because finance is very comprehensive. You need to understand two major areas, which is accounting and economics. So you not only need to know finance, you know finance because you know your accounting and you know your economics. So that's why it's more comprehensive. Mm-hmm. So for example, things that you learn in finance is risk and return. So theoretically, if you want to have higher return, you must, of course, then acquire higher risks. For example, do you invest in bond or do you invest in shares? Invest in bond, just like lending people money, people promise to pay you back. Whereas if you invest in shares, there's higher risk because you become owners of companies, then you take on the risks of the companies. But if the company do well, you have higher return. So this is the understanding of risk and return. Of course, if you put your money in your savings account, you get very little return. You put money in your FD account, well, you sacrifice not spending your money for a period of time, you get slightly higher return, but it's still not like investing in something that takes on more risk. So that's the understanding in a nutshell, okay, of risk and return.
All said and done, is this knowledge important, especially for the younger generation?
Oh, risk and return is only one part of finance. So understanding basic financial statements, for example, what are income and what are expenses, what are assets and what are liabilities. Well, to understand that, it is also important. Of course, the main thing for everybody, for everybody on the street is, you always hear people say, oh, at the end of the month, I've got no more to spend. Why? Because they never budget. They don't even know where their money has gone to. At the beginning of the month, when they receive their salary, they spend and spend and spend. At the end of the month, oops, I don't have enough, because they never have a list, a budget of where their money goes to. So if you look at the list of where your money went to, then you realize, oh, this area I shouldn't have spent so much, and I should reserve more for the other area which are of priority and more important. See, so setting up a budget and a plan is also very, very important, for people who to learn how to manage whatever income that they have, and to understand the time value of money. Now, what does time value of money means? The 1,000 ringgit you have today is not going to be worth the same as the 1,000 ringgit 5 years down the road. So if I ask you, do you want 1,000 ringgit today or 5 years down the road? Why do everybody say I want it today? Well, because they want
to spend.
Yes. But then they forgot that if they don't spend, their 1,000 ringgit can grow. So 5 years down the road, it's more than 1,000 ringgit already. Plus, of course, inflation. You would say 1,000 ringgit 20 years ago, I can have a lot of things, you know. But now with 1,000 ringgit, I can't buy much. Of course. So again, all this is understanding of economics and accounting, and therefore finance. Okay, so therefore,
is this only Prof? This kind of basic, this is rather basic what you're talking about, because I remember my father, you know, my late father, that was how many, 60, 70 years ago, more than 70 years ago. He has a small little book, you know, the book 555?
Buku 35.
Buku 35 tu. And every day when he goes, every day he will jot down how much money he spent for food and this and that. And he did that for all his life. When he passed away, we saw it, you know. But unfortunately, none of the family, none of his children followed that. You
No,
know?
nowadays the children are saying that they have it here.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, your father was a very clever man.
Yes, you know?
He actually knows what he's doing.
He know how to stretch
the
one ringgit. He know how to stretch it. But I'm trying to emulate him a little bit. All right. Now, from my second question. From your biodata, I noticed that you are also supervising masters and PhD students, right? What are the areas that they normally focus on in doing this postgraduate degree, particularly in finance?
Okay, for students that just came in, I think a lot depends on their focus area. A lot depends on their interest. What do they like to do? What do they like to read, especially? As well as, of course, the current and relevant topics. Okay, you don't want to do something which has been done 50 years ago until the last 40 years, you know, and everybody has done it before. But, you know, current and relevant, as well as on their personal interests. Now come to think about doing research. I just want to branch out a little bit. Now, those in the private sector, in the corporates, if they want to climb up the ladder, they normally do not do a research postgraduate degree. They do an MBA where they manage businesses. Okay. Now, if a student wants to focus on doing research in finance, you know, postgraduate, whether it is master's or PhD, that means they are very interested in a career in academia, most likely.
I see.
So if they are very interested in a career in academia, I would give them three tips. Okay, of course, it would start with the passion for all the knowledge, and you're willing to share your knowledge, and you're going to make it very interesting. Okay, because the first thing that they should do, the first 3 years at least, is to focus on teaching and knowledge. Be an expert in the area. Read up, know everything about the subject area, the topic, the course that you're going to teach, so that you can add on what is happening in the world to make it interesting. Now, students' attention span in class is 5-10 minutes, I tell you.
I know.
So in that sense, you have to be the clown that entertain the whole class of students to make them focus on listening to you.
Yes.
So that skill in academia, it is most important. If not, you would not be interesting, and nobody will listen to you.
Yeah.
Now, then after you have focused the first 3 years in sharpening your skill in teaching, okay, and knowledge, then you focus on research. And of course, I said just now, what is current and relevant and what people want to read, and not something so old that people all know about it and nobody wants to read. Then after you have, of course, sharpened all your skills in number 1 and number 2, it's high time to give back to the society. And therefore, the highest level in academia is to have industry collaboration.
I see.
Collaborate with the industry for the benefit of the society, you know, work together with the industry, and that's what universities are supposed to do. So the 3 main areas, if anyone is interested in an academia career, okay, has to be in that type of priority and growth.
I saw just now you have something called financial engineering. What is that?
Financial engineering is a coin term, okay, for managing financial risks. In order to manage financial risks, okay, one has to go into the derivative instrument. So it is actually a course on derivatives. That means futures, options, swaps, and forwards. Those are all financial instruments to manage risks, companies' financial risks. So it is a higher level.
You know,
yes.
Yeah, and you know, your area is very broad, right? Because it's not only finance, like you said, accounting, it's also economics as a whole. So I cannot leave you without asking this important question. Now, as a person who's involved in banking, in finance and economics and all that, how do you see the current situation vis-a-vis the effects of the pandemic on the economy of our country and global?
The pandemic has actually affected not only Malaysia,
yeah, of course,
but the whole world. You know, things have, well, I wouldn't want to say the word stagnant, okay? Things has slowed down a lot, okay? Everybody consume less, you know? Everybody do not get to go out and enjoy themselves, and therefore, you know, some economic sectors are really drastically affected. So when I hope not going to be scolded for this, the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance in the previous government said that we're going to achieve 7.5%. We're all saying, oh gosh, it is never, you know, never will we achieve that target that the minister has set. But we are looking at, you know, at least maybe 3 to 4.
Yeah, yesterday it was mentioned around
will be
4.
reasonable. Yeah. Hopefully with our export industry, okay, we can sort of bring everybody up a little bit. If you're looking at just the domestic economy, it is very drastically affected. So, but resilience is what we have to ensure that our industries and of course our competitive industries for Malaysia. But I think we have a lot of lost ground too. You know, foreign investors are putting Malaysia down the list. Down the list. You know, they are actually focusing on other ASEAN and Asia countries compared to Malaysia. So we have to sell ourselves, you know, we have to back up, we have to focus. We cannot let our competitive edge previously being taken over by others, especially in technology.
Yes, it's very sad. It's really, really sad, because once we were there, imagine, you know, 2020 was supposed to be our
developed nation.
Yes, all of us, you know, you, me, you know, especially me, you know. I mean, you know, 2020 is the magic word in when I was working, you know, and I really said that, wow, can you imagine becoming a developed nation? And look at where we are now. I mean, of course, people say it's beyond us, because this whole pandemic is global, you see. Okay.
But it's not only the pandemic, it has been years of deterioration.
Yes.
I think education is very, very important.
Yes, I'm very sad.
If we don't have an intact and quality education program in Malaysia, you know, we need a very dynamic education minister to lead this.
Yes, I agree 200% with you. Okay, I cannot also leave you without touching on this important project that our NGO, Malaysian Women Graduate Association, having realized that it's so important for especially the younger generation to understand and come to terms with financial management and things like that. We embark on a particular program called a project called Financial Independence, and we focus on those who are about to enter the university students. Can you touch a little bit on that?
Yes, PSWM has been organizing financial freedom for youth seminars for universities students. So we have started in, I think, 2015, in UITM, in Universiti Beliau, and we branch out to all the universities, UKM, USM, we went north to UUM, and the last recent one was UPM. Yeah. And I intend to do the next one for Utah, let's change the scene and see whether it's going to help. But what we aim to do, our objective is to produce financial savvy graduates, as I said.
Meaning?
We want them to have some financial skills and knowledge in order to avoid bankruptcies, indebtedness, and of course all this is going to lead to social problems and dropouts, which we don't want. Okay, and reminding them that now there's this high cost of living in especially the Klang Valley, how to live within one's means. That is most important. They all think that, from what we have heard, graduate, come out, start a job. Okay, got a job, got income, buy a car. Okay. Once they work for a few years, they feel that, they want to get married, they get a personal loan or a marriage loan. Yes. After that, they want to set up a home, they get a housing loan. And all through their life, they think that, that all these loans are actually good for them. But do they actually budget and plan? Do they actually have any savings? They max their debt, they max their credit card, they max their loans. Eventually, they realize that if anything happened, for example, during this pandemic, how many Malaysians have 6 months of savings to tie them without a job, just in case they lose a job? How many? Now, I think with this experience, more people will realize that it is important, okay, to have enough savings and not be influenced by these marketing gimmicks online and not, I see Jackie Chan dancing on the TV, to buy this and buy that, Sometimes, those are all corporate strategies to increase sales, okay? But then whether you need it or not, whether you have the ability to buy or purchase, to enjoy. So one cannot just think of satisfaction, wanting everything under the sun, because once they go out to work, they realize that others have this, have that, and everything else they want.
Yeah.
So we hope to remind them to be a financial savvy worker out there.
Yeah, I can sense that the statistics in insolvency department is on bankruptcy is on the increase. We have not asked them, but because the last time when we did this program in UPM, so the trend is already there. And I must also share that people like me, I'm from the Jurassic age group,
You're very current.
Every month, we will put aside saving. Either for the orang Melayu amanah saham, tabung haji, things like that. I'm a very conservative person. I do not know how to play share, and I'm so scared of losing my money. I'm not trained in financial management, so I just go into whatever the government has to offer, and one of it is tabung haji, one of it is amanah saham,
ASB.
And you know what, Prof. Catherine, whenever I go, because I have started saving when I first started work in 1971 until I retired in 2004. That's about 30 over years, almost 40 years of saving, So I'm very, very upset. I'm very upset when I hear that, is the money still there? So whenever I go to the tabung haji or I go to amanah saham at the bank, I will say, excuse me, duit makcik ada lagi ke? So they always give me a smile. I say, I don't like the smile on your face. You tell me frankly. But I can safely say that with that saving, it helps to sort of, you feel a little bit more comfortable in the light of the pandemic. And of course, you have, I just heard my Ustad was saying, a few days ago, he said, actually, we only need less than 10 clothes, that we used. We have got 3 or 4 cupboards full of clothes. And I remember, Prof. Catherine, when I go for the to open the seminar, I normally will say to the Malays, right, the Malay ladies, girls, excuse me, a tudung is a tudung is a tudung. Please don't buy tudung that costs about 1,000 ringgit, 2,000 ringgit, and always you have your cupboard full of tudung. I always say that the president of Singapore went to one small little shop in Jalan Tunku Rahman, and she only bought the 10 ringgit tudung. And here we have branded ones. Of course, people who are doing business or tudung business online will not be happy with it.
They don't like what you said, I think it's important.
Right? Okay. Now, my next question is, normally, knowledge on finance is always associated with the profession such as accountant, auditor, and business. Besides this, are there any other areas that a graduate in finance can take up as a profession?
In terms of a profession and a career, let me tell you, and anybody who that bothers to listen, the area of finance is the highest paid profession all around the world. So if anybody who is determined, to actually make money, they should go into the area of finance. Okay. Now, there are many areas of finance. Of course, the one you said, the bankers, commercial bankers, investment bankers, they also can work in financial market analysts, financial manager, financial planner and advisor, accountant, credit analyst. They can also go into insurance, they can go into real estate, they can go into actuary, they can of course go into academia and become a lecturer. And the peak is the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. But let me tell you, for fresh graduates, don't worry about no job, because every company has finance and money to manage, and they need somebody to record and manage all the finance.
Wow.
So you don't actually need to go into just banks, you can go into any company. So a lot of universities are also afraid that their interns and their graduates may not be able to find job in finance, because the banking industry is a P&C industry. They might not want interns to go into looking into whatever their client's information is. And I told them, they don't even have to go into banks for internship. If bank is not opening their doors, they can go into any company to manage whatever money that comes into the company. So every company needs a finance person, just like an accountant,
Okay. But what about self-employed?
Oh, okay. If you want to start a business, it would be good to have financial knowledge, because then you'll be able to look at your costs, and therefore how much you want to mark up, and therefore your revenue. I mean, definitely. Okay, I'm not saying that it's better than a marketing person that has got all the marketing strategies to get sales, okay? But you need somebody to actually manage the cost and the money that comes in and out, the cash flows, okay? That is very important.
So in other words, it is a basic qualification, and it's an important qualification, and it's saleable in the market.
It's very saleable, because every company needs one.
Yes, so there's a lot of future there. Now, even during the economic downturn, do you think people will still employ financial analysts or whatever?
I always say this, but I know it is only my personal opinion, that in any company, the HR department is the most useless. Sorry, HR people.
Dare you.
But the sales people are the most important, because they bring in the sales. Without sales, the company cannot survive.
Of course.
And the sales people bring in the sales. Somebody has to record everything, has to manage all the money, and therefore the finance and the accounting people are the people that is demanded in every company. So sorry, HR, you're not that important.
I'm an HR person. How dare you?
Sorry. Well, if a company is not doing well, they will drive their salespeople out, right?
Okay.
I mean, who bothers about who manage the salespeople as long as the manager can push?
Okay. My last question. Okay. As a sum up, all right. Can you give some advice to the young people? There are hopefully there will be some students who are going abroad to further their studies at the degree level or masters or PhD listening to this program, and can you give some advice to them as far as financial management and whatever you have said today in terms of their future career?
I think finance has a very good career perspective, okay, because it is very comprehensive. As I said, you not only need to know accounting, you also need to know economics, because you need to project and forecast into the future. It is not only today and what happened in the past. So if you are looking into a career in finance, no worries at all. Of course, one would be very happy to join those established investment companies around the world, okay, Morgan Stanley, and all this. But every small little company also needs somebody to manage their money. I would say that once they go out to work, it's important to put aside 10% of their income as a savings. So depending on what is their investment horizon, because if you're young, you can prepare for the next 40 years, for example. Then you can venture into something more risky. For example, Datin and I, we are in a seniors group. So we would want to have something capital guaranteed and less risky, because we need the money for retirement. So time horizon is also a very important perspective, especially for fresh graduate. Sikit-sikit nanti hari like in the future jadi bukit,
Okay.
So in that sense, start early is what I'm trying to say.
So they must bring back the tabung, those ayam, the elephant, and start, like our consultant was saying, in the program, in the financial independence program, put every single, I put all the little coins that I receive, when I used to go out. Now, of course, we cannot go out, no more coins. So I have a bottle where I put all the coins, and then I'll carry that coin to the bank, and then the bank clerk look at me, oh my God, this is a very old-fashioned lady.
Yeah, and they're gonna tell us that there's no more coin counting machine in the bank.
Yes.
It's true, sikit-sikit, it matters.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Prof. Catherine, for a very interesting overview of what financial management is all about, what finance is all about, what economics is all about. And I'm sure our listeners will take all whatever you have said, not with a pinch of salt, without any salt. This is hard facts, you see, because you are so experienced not only at the national level but also at the international level. And with that, I must say I thank you very much for sharing your knowledge, and wish you all the best. And I really hope that one day you will also be appointed by the new government as one of their advisor, because I see that you are advisors to so many organizations abroad. But I think people like you should be made full use of by the new Minister of Finance, whoever she or he. Maybe it's about time they put a she there. I think a she can manage money better than better than
yeah, that's true.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All the very best to you, and I hope that you will continue to run the program for the sake of the future generation, the financial independence project that we are doing with undergraduates. Thank you.
My passion is in finance, so I definitely will want to make sure that everybody knows about it.
Okay, dengan itu saya sekali lagi mengucapkan banyak terima kasih kepada Prof dan berharap Profesor akan terus memperjuangkan knowledge mengenai keuangan ini. Dengan kata-kata itu saya sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Bye bye Prof.
Bye bye.
Stay safe.
Take care.
Okay, take care.